It's time for more rogue judges. Well, I don't even know about this rogue judge. Okay, you didn't even prep me beforehand. It just says on the notes, more judges.
That's right. So here's what everyone remembers is that when Judge Boasberg was put in all of these blocks.
The original rogue judge.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was the original rogue judge that started putting all these orders. When there was the deportation flights, he said, you got to turn around. And he was very, very upset and went very far with nationwide injunctions. This is what triggered a lot of the other judges to start putting these in place. And then we obviously saw the Supreme Court rule on a lot of these, limiting the use of injunctions because this all started with him.
Yeah, and what's interesting is like that one alone, take that aside from everything else that happened, you saw the outrage that did happen across the country. Whether you liked it or did not like the deportation flights, it was definitely a controversial move.
Sure.
The problem is that little precedent of, hey, we think the American people do not agree with this, and this should not be legal, then was taken to almost every single other issue that President Trump was trying to bring up.
That's right. So the original rogue judge, as Jordan called him, was then went down a path of trying to find criminal contempt of members of the Trump administration for violating orders of his. Remember, he ordered a flight turnaround once it was out of U.S. airspace, and they did not. They continued the flight, and it landed in
every time you
in
say
El
turn
Salvador.
around, I feel like you want me to respond with turn around. I know, it's like every time, but I'm stopping myself.
So the appeals court put an administrative stay in back after he found probable cause to continue this inquiry to find criminal contempt of members of the administration. And on just this Friday, they reversed his findings of probable cause that there was criminal contempt by the members of the administration. So this is, once again, this is an appeals court that has said he went too far. And Judge Castas wrote in his concurrence that any order to turn around planes midair would be indefensible, comparing it to a district judge who had ordered President Richard Nixon's administration to stop bombing Cambodia during the Vietnam War, and that order was quickly stayed. So, Jordan, even the appeals court here is seeing what this lower court, this district court judge did. Even after all of the issues with the injunctions, this was on a criminal contempt inquiry that he was proceeding with, has overturned that probable cause finding that he found.
Reining in some of these this out of control district court judges trying to turn planes around in international airspace, trying to tell the executive how to carry out their functions when it comes to immigration law, which is something that really falls between Congress and the executive branch. The executive branch executing the laws of the country. There's a lot of immigration laws that exist that make it, again, it's really up to the executive. And the idea here, and they have to go back to Vietnam-era precedent. So what was interesting to note about that is that there's always been some issue with district court judges trying to get involved in affairs that they have no business being in, like how to conduct wars, whether you agreed with the warfare or not, whether you agreed with the president's decision or not the job of the district court judge. In this matter, I think the problem is in the legal process, how long this takes. It takes a very long time for this judge to finally be told by the Court of Appeals, you know what, you're wrong here. You're not going to hold these attorneys in contempt. You're not going to have planes turned around midair as a district court judge. You don't have that kind of enforcement ability.
That's right. And I think that is important, though, even though it takes time. We did see the vindication from the Supreme Court on the injunctions issue. But even having this is the D.C. Circuit, the Court of Appeals. That's a big deal. That it can still happen there, that even at the appellate level, not having to go all the way to the Supreme Court. Now, obviously, there's other options. They can try to get an en banc hearing on this or some other. We'll see if that proceeds. But it's a big sign to me that even the Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia was able to come together and say, you know what, he went too far. The order would not have been appropriate, and therefore the probable cause for criminal contempt, we're not even going to let you go there at this time. I think it's a really good sign that the appeals court level in this country is going to be doing a lot of that work as well to rein in these judges that are acting inappropriately.
Yes, exactly right. And you know what? I think this is, again, it's a big win. and it's something that we have to focus on, but that and unfortunately this administration has had to focus on. It's not over yet. With these judges who are out of control, we see it happening all the time, almost every day, because President Trump acts fast. He's not, this is not going to be an administration that takes months and months and months to develop a policy. They've already been in office once before. They know what they want to get done. And so the judges are the last place for the left to go to try and prevent these policies from going into force. And when you actually see the American people's position on this, they're not against the Trump administration securing the border. No one was against that. Now that the border's secure, people like that. Now you're able to then focus on what's going on inside our own communities instead of the 6,000 people that we're crossing on a daily basis under the Biden administration. Now that that's done, you can see what's actually happening in your city.
Well, Jordan, as well as you look at some of the reining in and how some of these judges, though, we know they're going to continue to try to find ways, try to get clever. We look at that issue out of Massachusetts with the defunding of Planned Parenthood, which Planned Parenthood is hoping they can draw that legal battle out as long as possible, because we know under the big, beautiful bill, it was only 1 year of defunding at this time. Right. We need that to be reauthorized. But when you look at what they've done, they found the judge that put a temporary hold while they waited to have the preliminary injunction hearing, and then did something very wacky when it comes to, okay, well, there's an injunction just for this sect of Planned Parenthood, 25% effectively can keep being funded. Then later took it under advisement, the rest of it, came back and gave effectively a nationwide injunction affecting all the members of Planned Parenthood under a freedom of association grounds that she found, because at some point she said they're all super independent, you can't punish them, except for in one of her rationale, it was, well, they're all a part of the same mission, so you can't punish them. Tried to find a workaround. All of that, we know the Department of Justice has filed their notice of appeal on both of those injunctions against the defunding of Planned Parenthood, and the ACLJ attorneys, as soon as we get that briefing schedule, will be filing our brief as well.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think that's why you want to support the work of the ACLJ. We're on top of every one of these issues. You go to aclj.org. And if talking about the 35 years of victory, we're going to continue to fight for these as long as you want to continue to fight. As long as you're there to stand with us, you go to aclj.org, you donate today. The impact is doubled. And it's just, we're in back to school time here in Tennessee where we are based. And you realize then a lot of these issues come right back into force because of what's happening on the school campuses, what's happening with someone brings their Bible to school. These are all issues we still face every single day, every single season, I would almost call it, at the American Center for Law and Justice. So go to aclj.org, support our work today. That's at aclj.org.